I actually feel like a YouTuber now, man. This is crazy, man. Yeah, man. I just wanted to come up on here, chat early mornings, top of the morning, man. I just got to say that, man. A lot of people program, man. A lot of people haven't tapped into their truths. I think about majority of people haven't tapped into their truths. Like they're basically programmed, like living a lie, man. If you think about it, the reality of the situation is like when most of us born, as soon as we're projected into the world, we're somebody that we're not. You feel me? Everybody are putting their hands on us to make us something that they want us to be. The school system, the work life, even our parents. Our parents, they live a certain type of life. They've been taught a certain type of way, so they teach us to be a certain type of way. But it kind of takes us away from our truths by default. You know what I'm saying? By default, it takes away from who we naturally are. So that's been my main focus, man. Getting back to my truth and finding out what my real mission is. To try to find out who I truly am. You know what I'm saying? Because once you think about it, man, we're programmed like it's like a routine. Like life is like a routine. Like you go through the same cycle over and over again. You got holidays, you got seasons, right? And they all, it's like a circle. Time's a circle. It all recurs over and over again. And as years go by, you start to repeat things over and over and over. Even school, when you go to school, like when I went to school from first grade to 12th grade, I really ain't like school, man. Like school was trash to me, man. I'm gonna keep it a beam, man, 100. Like I did not like going to school. School was like, why am I here? I could think back when I was like 5 years old, my first day of preschool or kindergarten or whatever it was, man. I'm sitting in there and I'm looking at these people that I never seen before, and I'm like, why am I here? I was just at home, like it was lit at home, and now I'm around these people that I don't really want to be around. So I never really liked school since the beginning of school, man. It just all seemed scripted to me, you know. My whole thing about school, what I liked about school was like going there and like the people. That was the part, like going to school and meeting people. But as far as the learning part, it just seemed scripted to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get the part of why we got to do homework. Like, what's the point of doing homework? Like, I never did homework. Like, I wasn't a person that studied, but I was a great test taker. You know what I'm saying? The reason I was a great test taker because I started to see the play. The play was like when you read books, like back in the day, like when you read books and you had your textbook, you could tell what was basically going to be on the test because it will always be in bold. When I started to notice, like, dang, wait a minute, why is this in bold? Maybe this is something important. So I just started to memorize the things that were in bold, like, and 9 times out of 10, they were on the test. So I was an excellent test taker. Didn't do homework. I just got cool with the females in the class. Females was digging me. Grandma always said I was handsome, so I guess I was handsome. I guess that's why the females was digging me. You know, so I used to get answers from them in the morning, and I came in like, who did the homework? They gave me the answer to the homework, and I did it. But I never really liked school. School just seemed like it seemed like a scam to me, man. It just seemed like it was programmed. School just seemed like it was scripted. You feel me? It didn't seem authentic. So I really never really liked school, you know? Now, when I went to college, I did like college. College was kind of lit for me. Like, nah, word, facts, facts. So we on the same page. School definitely sucked, man. But when I went to college, I noticed that like college was different because you got to select and pick the classes that you actually wanted to take. But from first to 12th grade, I ain't like it, man. It just seemed scripted, man. You feel me? What was the whole point of doing homework? Like, why we gotta do homework? When we go home, home time should be for being home, being with your family. I think homework takes away from family time. Like, why we gotta do homework for? Like, what was the point of doing homework? That didn't make no sense to me. I never did homework. You understand? Good thing like I said, I was cool with females. The females was digging me. So when I came in the morning, I just wanted to find out who did the homework, got the homework from them, turned my homework in, and it was what it was. And one thing too, I was a good test taker because once you started to notice the play in school, you started to notice like when you read test books, you start to see that like the answers being bold. Like when you read a textbook, you're like, yo, why is this in bold? Maybe this might be something important that I need to know, man. You know what I'm saying? So I started memorizing the things that was in bold, and 9 times out of 10, they'd be on the test, man. But like all that stuff is like a program, like school, um, all that stuff takes you away from who you truly are. You feel me? So that's why I would say a lot of people don't even know their true selves, man. Like we be programmed. Like if you start to notice things like life is like a routine and it keeps happening over and over and over. We got seasons, the same seasons occur, right? The same holidays occur, right? And you find yourself repeating the same thing over and over. It's like a cycle, right? But what I found once you break that cycle and you take yourself outside the matrix, that's when you start finding yourself, man. That's when you start finding your truth, who you really are. When you start breaking the traditions that they push on you, you start making your own traditions and finding out what you want to be celebrated for, man. You know? And this is crazy, man. This is my first time going live. Like, I actually really feel like I'm initiated to becoming like this was my YouTube moment going live. I didn't want to go live because I was like, what's the point of going live? But it's kind of dope, you know? It's fire, man. But I'm glad to see that some people agree with me, man. Like school was a joke for me, man. So this whole live thing is surreal. It's kind of like you're talking to yourself, but you're not talking to yourself. It's actually people that's viewing you and that's going to see you talk. But when you do it for the first time, it kind of feel like you talking to yourself, man. But this is like my moment, man. This is like my YouTube moment. I actually feel like a real YouTuber now. This is my very first live. This is like history. You understand? And the main reason I wanted to become a YouTuber is because I like talking. You feel me? I love to talk. So I was like, yo, if I like to talk, so I might as well be a YouTuber, get on YouTube and start talking, man. Talking about whatever it is that I want to talk about, man. And so this is my first live. That's why I titled it like, most people is living a lie, man. We got to start living this lie and start becoming who we want to become, man. We got to stop this, man. Be who you want to be, man. Stop letting people control the narrative of yourself, man. Be yourself, man. Break them chains, break that bondage. Find out who the true you is, man. Cause your identity has been tormented, man. It's been like mixed up. Your identity, who you think you are, you're not, man. Cause most of the stuff that we've been told, now that we finding out, especially that we got the internet and we got the knowledge to go search for ourselves, we start to find out, like, man, all this is lies, man. Like we've been lied to, man. So now we gotta unravel all the lies and find out the truth. What's the truth? You understand? So that's been my mission, man. Finding out what's the truth and who am I truly? What's my true self? What's my identity? You understand? Breaking free of the program, getting out the matrix, tapping into that. So that's been my mission, man. And so far, so good, man. I've come this far. You understand? I feel like I'm finally breaking free and finally becoming who I'm truly am. Like I'm finally being me. And it's like a surreal thing, like to go through it in real time. You understand? It's like I've been here before, but I haven't. You understand? And another thing I want to tap on, like you can be anything you want to be, but before you be it, you gotta be it mentally. Like whoever you want to be, whoever you see yourself being, or the type of life you want to live, you gotta be that self. You gotta be that mentally first. You gotta become that first in your head. It sounds crazy. I know it sounds strange, but whoever you want to be, first you gotta be that mentally, and then you put the work in after you become that mentally. You gotta have it programmed in your mind that this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, if you want to be rich, you gotta already have in your mind that you already rich, you already wealthy, you already got the finances, you already got the currency. It already gotta be inside your head, man. It just already gotta be programmed in you. Before you go out and put the work in to become that, you gotta be it mentally. I know it kind of sounds strange, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta be kind of crazy. You feel me? And you gotta believe that this is your reality before it's actually your reality. You gotta believe it mentally. And that's how you start to become something. That's how you manifest something. This is real spill. This is what manifestation is all about. You becoming what you want to become first inside your head. You understand? Manifestation is just not you just sitting in a room and thinking that you automatically gonna think that you're supposed to be something and you're going to become it. No, you got to really believe it mentally. You got to really be living it inside your head. You understand? And then subconsciously, that's what life will start to present to itself. Then you start putting the work in. Then you start working toward getting to that point, man. This is real spill, man. That's like the true manifestation, man. Gotta be it in your head mentally first. Like, gotta have that, man. Like before I got here right now on my first live, I already envisioned myself being a YouTuber. You understand? It's already destined for me. I already envisioned myself doing this. I was already doing this mentally before I actually did it in a physical. You understand? I already seen myself doing it. It was already destined for me. You feel me? This is real spill, man. My name Mr. Morals, man. They call me Mr. Morals. I appreciate y'all tapping in. This is my first ever live. I've been wanting to go live. Like I said, I've been going live in my head before I actually went into physical. Like mentally, I already was live. Mentally, I was already a YouTuber. Even though this is my first live, mentally, I done been live like 130 times already. Like I said, before you become something, you already gotta be it inside your head. You gotta believe it. And then it becomes your reality, man. That's the key to manifestation, man. Really believing it, man. You understand? It's only 1% of people that actually get out and become what they want to really become. The rest of the people, man, they just go through the motions. You understand? It ain't about this life. This life is a different type of life. This life ain't meant for everybody, man. You understand? Tapping into your true self and doing what it is that you really want to do in life, it's not for everybody. It sounds easy. I know it sounds simple, but people rarely do it, man. People rarely live the life that they want to live. People rarely become the person that they want to become. You understand? Whether they're just scared of doing it, you understand? Or whether they're just content on being who they are, or whether they just programmed. But people rarely tap into who they truly are and rarely live the life that they really want to live. You understand? So that's just it, man. It sounds like I'm rambling, but this actually funner than I thought it was gonna be, man. I don't even really. It's still new to me, so I don't know how many people tapping in and tapping out. I can see comments, so actually seeing comments is dope. I see numbers like the number going up and down from 2 to 6, stuff like that. But I'm just happy for 2 people because I'm gonna remember this. My first live, I'm gonna remember. Like I had 2 people, I had 2 to 3 people. It got up to 7. I'm gonna remember this. This is classic right now. You understand? I'm just happy to have somebody listen to me. You feel me? Because when you really wired a certain type of way, people that's really, really on a different wavelength, I think they talk to themselves. So if you're a person that's ever talked to yourself before, then I think you're a genius, man. I think all geniuses talk to themselves. Like, you feel me? You gotta talk to yourself. So this is what it feels like. It kind of feels like I'm talking to myself, but I'm not. I'm actually talking to people. So I just wanted to get on here top of the morning, you know, tap in with the people, before I start my day, before I get busy. I just wanted to tell people to stop living a lie, man. Tap into your true self, man. Find out who you truly are, man. Break free of the system, man. Break free of the programs, man. Find your true identity, man. You understand? And stop being hit with the 52 fake out. Break out of the matrix, man. Become your true self. Know who you really are. Do the research, man. Tap into yourself, man. Put that work into yourself to find out who you truly are. It's easier said than done. You understand? But putting that work in on yourself to become the best version of yourself is probably the hardest thing you're gonna do in life. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I'm gonna keep it a honey bun with you. To find out who you truly are and to become the best version of yourself is probably the hardest thing you're gonna do in your life. It's like the you versus you. Because truthfully, where you at right now, it's not really where you really want to be at. You want to be further than what you are. And I can honestly say that for everybody. You understand? Where you at right now is not where you want to be. Your future self, where you at right now is not where your future self want to be, right? You want to be better. You want to be advanced. But in order to do that, you got to make some changes, man. You understand? You got to dig down deep, go on a rabbit hole, and find out who you truly are. You feel me? You got to find out what your flaws is. You got to find out what your addictions are. You got to find out who the people that's bad for you, who the people that you got to cut off. You got to find out, is your environment bad for you, man? One of the key things about making change and becoming the best version of yourself is you got to change your environment. I know it kind of sounds funny, man, but true spill, man. You got to change where you at right now. You got to take yourself out of the environment that you in. Because 9 times out of 10, people's environment is holding them back. And you need to change your scenery. You understand? You need to go somewhere where you could just reset, isolate, and tap into your true self, man, and start to figure out who you truly are. Because I'm telling you right now, the person that you think you are, you're not. You're not. In hindsight and by default, you're living a lie, man. You're living a whole lie, man. So once you realize that, you gotta break free of the programming and break free of all the bondage and all the curses and all the trickery that's been placed upon you, then you start finding out who your true self is, man. You start finding out that the true you has a whole nother mission in which you was taught. You understand? You gotta realize that we've been programmed, man. We've been programmed to think in one way. You've been programmed to live in a certain type of way. You've been programmed to eat in a certain type of way. We've been programmed to, you know, just live in a certain type of way, right? Nah, definitely. We gotta wake up, man. We gotta wake up, man, and start living that. Stop living this lie, man, and start tapping into your truth, man. Tapping into who your true self is, man. So that's just been my journey, you know. Once I finally woke up and I finally realized, like, nah, I always felt like that, right? I always felt like that since I was young. Like, something is off, like, man, like, I don't really belong. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody else ever felt like that. You ever felt like, yo, I don't belong here, bro? I belong somewhere else. Definitely me. God bless. Top of the morning, you know? Definitely God bless. But yeah, I always felt like I didn't belong. Like I always felt like the black sheep. I always felt like an outcast, and I didn't understand why. It always felt like I was going through the motions. You understand? But then when I started growing and started to understand and started to get to know myself, I started to realize, like, dag, man, everybody put their hands on me from the school system to the government, even for your parents, man. I love my parents. You know what I'm saying? We all love our parents, but you got to realize our parents was programmed too. So they was just teaching us what they was taught. And now that we older and now that we got all this technology and we got that internet, we can see that, yo, man, our parents was taught some BS, man. They was lied to. You feel me? And we every day, like you go on the internet, you start to realize, like, wait a minute, that was a lie too. This was a lie too. All the stuff I was believing, and some of the things you start to teach your peers or your kids, you start to find out it was lies, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. So that's just my message to people, man. Stop living this lie, man, and find out who the true you is, man. Do that work. Find out who you are. Find out what your mission is. You know, people call it different things, but their mission is, people call it purpose, what your destiny is, whatever you want to call it. Find it out. Find out who you truly are. And once you start finding that out, every day gonna be lit. You understand? Cause that's how your mind gonna be focused on, like, damn, finding out who you are. I actually call it the the three W's. WW dot purpose. The W stand for who, right? You got to find out who you are. The other W stand for where you going, and then the last W is why you doing it. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's very important for people to find out who they truly are. And once you find out who you truly are, it's easy to find out what direction you should be going in life. You know what I'm saying? Where you're going. And then you just ask yourself, why are you doing it? Once you ask yourself why you're doing it and you figure out why you're actually doing the thing that you really want to do in life, you're set, man. You're out of here, man. You go to a different realm, man. But that's just my spill for the people, man. Deprogram yourself, man. Get yourself outside of the matrix, man, and find out who you truly are, man. Break free of all these lies and tap into your truth, man. You know, this was a fun live, man. This 20 minutes went by super, super fast, man. But I enjoyed it, man. I hope y'all enjoyed my spill, man. This is my introduction to YouTube. This is my first live. It's your boy, Mr. Morals, man. You're going to be hearing a lot from me because I'm going to be going live more. I'm going to be posting more, like I said. And what I said earlier, man, I always wanted to be a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? I was already a YouTuber before I became a YouTuber. I was already this mentally before I became it right now. Like, even though it's my introduction to YouTube, I was already a YouTuber mentally. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever you want to be, you got to be it first in your head, man. That's manifestation, man. You got to believe it first, and then you become it, man. You understand, man? So that's it, man. I ain't gonna hold no more of y'all time. Y'all there. I'm here. It's your boy, Mr. Morals, and I'm out of here. But before I get out of here, man, go get your morals right. And I'm gonna do the same, man. And go find out who you truly are, man. Find out your truths, man. Find out the real you. And that's all I got to say. That's my spill for the day, man. I'm gone.